Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're looking at how we use can, could, and be able to talk about ability in English. Let's go to the intro. Now, as I said, today's lesson is looking at can, could, be able to when we refer to ability in English, things that we are able to do, things that we can do, that we have as I said, the ability to do. So the first thing we're looking at is can for ability because we have the knowledge or the skill, etc., to do that particular thing, okay? So, examples. I can ride a bike, okay? I have the ability to do it. I have the skill to do it. I know how to ride a bike. Can you? Can you ride a bike? So we have the affirmative sentence and the question here, okay? I can ride a bike. I have the ability to do it. So the next one is I can speak Spanish. I can't speak French, okay? So I can speak Spanish. I have the knowledge of Spanish. I have the knowledge of Spanish in my mind, okay? But I can't speak French because I've never learnt to speak French, so I can't speak French. Those are the two main uses of can for ability because of the knowledge or skill, etc. Now, we can also use can for typical situations or possible situations because of the circumstance, okay? Now, what we mean by this is typical situation. It can be hot in Madrid in August. It's typical for it to be hot in Madrid in August. Madrid is a hot city in August. So it can be hot in Madrid in August. It can snow in Madrid in January, okay? Is a typical situation. Well, it's not really typical, but it's possible. Okay. Next one. The doctor called. He can see you either today or tomorrow. Okay. He can see you either today or tomorrow. Okay. So the possibilities that he gave was that he can see you either today or tomorrow for your appointment. Okay. Now, the next thing we'll look at is be able to. Now, the problem with can is that we're limited to how we can use it. We can use it in the present, can. We can use it in the past, could, which I'll show you in a minute, but we're limited. So we can't use can with the present perfect. We can't use can with other modal verbs. We can't use can in for the future, for example. Okay? So, how do we get around it? Well, we use be able to. Okay, so we substitute can for be able to. Now, be able to is completely possible in these sentences as well. I am able to ride a bike, but it's not very common for us to say that. It means the same thing. So, I am able to ride a bike, but we normally use be able to when we have those situations that I said before. So, should. Modal verb. So we can't have modal verbs and can together. It just doesn't go, okay? Can is a modal verb. Should is a modal verb. We can't have two. So he should be able to come to the party, okay? She has been able to solve the problem. Present perfect. We can't use can in the present perfect. She has been able to solve the problem. I'd be able to do the job if I had more time. Conditional tense. Again, here with would. I would be able to. Okay? We can't say can here. And the last one. John said he'll be able to call you tomorrow. He will be able. So the problem with can is that we're limited for the present and for the past with could. So be able to is the substitute. Now I'll be back in a second with how we use could. Okay, back again. Now, could. Could is used for past ability. Okay, past ability. And we also use could with certain verbs. Now, I'll explain this a little bit more in a minute. But past ability. My grandmother could speak French. Okay, she could speak French. My grandmother is no longer here. She's passed away. So it's a past ability that she had. She could speak French. Okay. In the past, you could smoke in your office. Okay. In the 1970s, in the 1980s, even in the 1990s perhaps, people used to smoke cigarettes in their office. So you could smoke in your office, okay? People had the ability to do that before. And this example here, he spoke fast, but I could understand him, okay? He spoke fast, but I could understand him. Now, I'll explain this in a minute, but the next example is was, were able, and managed to for one-off situations. Now this here technically is a one-off situation, but when we use these particular verbs, see, smell, understand, plus a few others as well, okay, we can use could. So we could say could see, could smell, could understand, okay, even though it's a one-off situation. But normally in a one-off situation without these verbs, we need to use this or this, okay? So, I managed to get the job done quite quickly, okay? It was a one-off job, and I managed to get the job done quite quickly. We can't say could here. Next one, he was able to get the job, he was able to get the job of his dreams. He was able to get the job of his dreams. Again, we can't use could. But in this situation here, he spoke fast, but I could understand him, even though it was a one-off situation and I only spoke once to this person and he spoke fast, but I could understand him, okay? So with these verbs. Now, couldn't. The last thing I'll explain is couldn't. Now, couldn't can be used in any negative situation, one-off or not one-off, okay? So I could say my grandmother couldn't speak French, or he tried hard but he couldn't get the job, even though it was a one-off. Doesn't matter. We can use the negative without problems. I wanted to call but I couldn't find your number yesterday. One-off, but with couldn't, we don't need to revert to was, were able, or managed to, okay? So couldn't in this sense can be used in all of the situations. But remember that when we have the one-off situation in the past for ability, we need to use was, were able, or managed to. And the examples here, hopefully it is clear. Now, thank you very much for watching. If you have a question or a comment or you want to ask me something, please leave it below in the comment section. Remember to share the video on social media, your Facebook, your Google+, your Twitter, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye.